thanks for tuning into today's episode of Mom Talk TV. This week I will be talking to you about my experience with the toddler bed transition and how that went. I can't really give advice for everybody's toddler, obviously, because they're all different, but I can speak from a person who has a very stubborn, strong-willed toddler, as most of them are. She's very independent, likes to do what she wants, and likes to be kind of left alone to make her own decisions, if you know what I mean. You'll get it by the time I'm done explaining it. So we started the transition when Ellie was about, I would say, almost 18 months old, maybe like 17 and a half months. Anytime that Ellie has been in her crib up until just recently, we've never had a problem with her being in there and going to sleep. Sometimes she would fuss for about 5 minutes at most, and then she would go right to sleep and stay there all night long, no problems. Not every night was like that, but for the most part, it was okay. Around the end of 16 months, that all changed. Sorry, I'm feeling a little bit nauseous today, so I apologize. I found that, I guess I thought that she felt maybe confined by the crib, because it's like a cage, if you will, and that she couldn't come and go as she pleased, and bedtime turned into a complete nightmare, and she gave off this ear-piercing scream, and we live in a condo, which it's like a townhouse style, so it's side by side. And I felt so bad for my neighbors that I actually went over and gave them a coffee card to say, look, I know this is happening and I'm trying everything I can to take care of it. Please accept my sincere apologies. And they're not horrible people. Like, they understand kids are kids. But I felt bad because I know that they worked early in the morning and I didn't want them to think that I was one of those parents who just let their kids scream and never paid any attention to it. So it was really, really loud, and it was happening all hours of the night. Sometimes it would take 2 hours of her screaming and crying and us running in there and rubbing her back and rocking her before she would actually go asleep. Stay asleep for about an hour and then wake up and repeat the process all over again, which wasn't very good because I'm pregnant and I'm tired too and I need my sleep. So I talked to a few people online and I said, is this some sleep regression thing that I didn't know about? And it turns out there is an 18-month sleep regression. And apparently it's a really bad one. But since putting her in her toddler bed, everything has changed. People shared their experiences with me and said, it worked for my kid, it didn't work for my kid, whatnot. So I decided, I've done everything else I possibly could, might as well give the toddler bed a shot. So what I did, because she is so strong-willed and likes to make her own decisions, I made her room completely safe, which meant for me to move her big fancy dresser into her closet, and that would become her change table area, because I didn't feel comfortable anchoring the dresser to the wall because I didn't want to have it there all the time. So I didn't also want to run the risk of her being in there and the dresser collapsing on her, so I did put it in the closet where it's safe and she can't access it. I made sure that everything else in her room was child-proof, including all of the electrical outlets, all of the blind string things, and any cords and stuff were kept up out of reach, including our video monitor. And then I had the crib there, and I also brought in the toddler bed and tried it for a nap time. I did have a few toys up there. I didn't want her to feel like it's a jail cell and she wasn't going to do anything else. That's why she's so strong-willed and, she's determined to make her own decisions. Like, she'll play whenever she wants, then she'll go to bed whenever she wants. I know during the day it's been sometimes a struggle for nap time. I'd rather, though, have a struggle at nap time than have a struggle at bedtime. I have not had, I think, since doing the transition, I've had maybe 3 nights of bad nights, and it's been like an hour tops of fussing, and I've had to go in and rock her and put her back into her bed, and everything was fine. Ellie's bed is one of those cheap toddler beds. I didn't want to invest in a really expensive fancy toddler bed that she wasn't going to be staying in for a long period of time, because my plan is eventually to go out and buy a double bed. and I was going to use her crib, but she gnawed on it like a little beaver when she was a baby, so her brother can have that, and then he'll get his own bed for now, but eventually down the line, Ellie will get a double bed. So I just bought this cheap little thing until we can, get her a proper bed. So it's low enough to the floor where she can get in and out as she pleases. I know a lot of people put their single mattresses on the floor too, whatever works. But from my own personal experience, my daughter needed the ability to get in and out whenever she pleased. At night, when she's in, she's in. She very rarely does she get out. But during the day, I'll go up there and I'll let her know that it's nap time and put her in her bed. Every single time she gets out and decides to play with a couple of toys for a little while. And then she will get in when she's tired. When she feels like it, she will get in and has her nap. And nap time can usually last for about an hour to an hour and a half. If I'm super lucky, 2 hours, but that's pretty rare now. Nap time doesn't always happen, but I always, always, always make sure that she has quiet time. And depending on her mood, sometimes I can get away with it for about an hour to 2 hours. If she's up there playing, I'm not going to bother her. Obviously, I check in on her and stuff, but we have the video monitor. I won't imprison her up in her room for the day, but I do keep her on a schedule to remind her, like, this is when nap time happens, so even if she doesn't take a nap, she still has that time away. So that gives me to do stuff around the house, or I get the chance to go in and relax because I'm having a really hard pregnancy, nausea-wise, so sometimes I go in and have a nap too. And I know that she's safe in her room. Sorry, her runny nose is part of my pregnancy and it's just awful. So yeah, her having the ability to get in and decide when she wants to have a nap, and I know when she's in her room, she's completely safe. That worked for us. And at bedtime, we have her normal routine. Go in, change your bum, put the pajamas on, brush the teeth, read the books, put her to bed. Sometimes she will get out. Most of the time she does get out, but it's only to like look around the room or something. I don't know. And then she gets back in and she's in for the night. No problems. Like I said, we've had a couple of nights, but nothing major. If I hadn't known how good this transition was going to go, I would have done it a long time ago when she started first acting up. I guess it's because, she's independent. She felt confined by her crib. But we have no fancy, white noise machine that we needed, or no fancy gadgets or anything. Just a girl with a toddler bed and a couple toys in her room, and just making sure that her room is completely safe when she's in it by herself. So I hope this helps somebody out there, and I appreciate all the feedback that I got when I was looking for tips. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!